name is Jim Rowe. I'm a Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Jonas Hospitality Property Systems Group. I currently oversee sales and marketing for 5 of the hospitality businesses. I joined Jonas as part of an acquisition. That was actually the 3rd acquisition I'd gone through. In the last 2 acquisitions I'd gone through prior to Jonas, I didn't feel it was a cultural fit for me, so I moved on in both times. But with Jonas, right from the get-go, I felt like this was going to be a great landing spot for me personally, and it's proved to be that as well. From the top down, everybody's extremely humble. It's basically an open door policy. If you've got an idea, if you want to see some changes, if you just want to see some improvements, whatever it is, everybody's willing to listen to you. Everybody kind of knows your name as well. Even though it's a very large company, you don't feel like you get lost in the shuffle. Great place to learn, great place to try and exceed your career goals. And if you want to progress, there's usually an opportunity for you to do so. Regardless of where you want to go in your own personal development and personal career, there's an opportunity for you. There's encouragement there and there's opportunities there if that's what you strive to do. That's where I've done, right? I've tried to take opportunities as they present themselves. Right now, I'm extremely happy in the current role that I'm in, right? I'm happy taking on more and more sales businesses as if we acquire more companies. I'm happy to help where I need to, but who knows, in 2 years, 3 years, I might have a change in mindset where I want to run a business, and that opportunity will be there if I choose to go down that path. We do run separate, but because there's so much experience within each company, right, we try to come together as often as we can to say, hey, well, how have you handled this situation? Because there's a strong chance that one of the other Jonas businesses has already gone through or is currently going through a problem that you're trying to solve. And so it just makes natural sense for, rather than everybody to try and keep reinventing a wheel, right, is just to ask, pick up the phone or send an email to somebody and say, hey, have you experienced this? And if so, what did you do when you got there? And then just share that, right? And then share that throughout, whether it's hitting your number, whether it's, keeping a customer happy, whether it's adding development, it doesn't matter what it is. There's usually somebody you can turn to or somebody you can talk to, whether it's a colleague or a peer or somebody that you report to that can certainly help you out. The hospitality industry is both large and small, right? Which is a weird way to explain it. It's a very large industry, but everybody knows everybody, right? And there's a lot of different companies, so there's a lot of competition. And it's difficult, I think, for hoteliers to understand when they're making a technology decision who the right partner is, because there's a multitude of people they could go to. In general, the hospitality industry has been challenged in the past with, do you go with an all-in-one provider or do you look for more of a best-of-breed solution where you're bringing in multiple different companies? Both have their own set of pros and cons, right? But that's a conflict or a decision that many hoteliers have had to make when buying technology decisions or making technology decisions in the past. Whilst best of breed and all-in-one have their own pros and cons, the decision has often led to a compromise from a hotel's perspective. So what we're trying to do is remove the compromise. Jonas has always been a best of breed solution provider. As we acquire companies, we don't roll them up operationally. What we found out is we left a gap in the market where we wasn't rolling them up from a technology perspective. And we were getting more and more interest in wanting to make sure, all the Jonas solutions are talking together, right, and making sure all the data is flowing back and forth, but then also having a solution where, hey, if somebody is using a third party, that could also feed in. So that's what Jonas Unify is it's creating this technology layer, not operational layer, where we can roll up solutions and provide that centralized guest data. So there's very direct benefits for hotels, but there's indirect benefits for other companies that are looking to sell to hotels, right, to be part of a larger solution, right, where we could go in and provide that both best of breed and all-in-one solution. Now, with everything that we're doing from Jonas Unify's perspective, we're going to be able to solve many more problems together as a collective group and a holistic solution offering than what many businesses would be able to do themselves. Our group, we oversee like 3,000 hotels. A new technology solution coming in, we could make introductions to 3,000 hotels right out of the gate. right? That they perhaps wouldn't already have access to or relationships with, and vice versa, right? And so then perhaps they can do the same for us. And that goes back to the best practices and that learning and things like that. Culturally, there's nothing to be concerned about, because culturally, regardless of who you speak to, they're going to find time to speak to you. They're going to answer your questions. They're going to help you work through your business metrics that you have to hit, right? So you're never going to feel like you're isolated or alone. You're never also going to feel like you're just a commodity or a number to somebody, right? You're going to feel like you're part of the Jonas Group, but also you're going to remain and you're going to keep your own identity. Right? Because again, we're not going to fold anything in operationally. We're not dissolving existing products or existing staff, right? We're not just trying to buy a customer base. We're actually buying somebody that makes sense, and we want to see that solution grows. And I think that's the difference, right? I mean, Jonas, we believe tortoise wins the race, right? We're not out here just making quick decisions because we want to sell a company in 2, 3, 4 years. We're making investments and decisions because it's a software for life, and we're going to hold on to that company forever. I don't know where the ceiling is, right? And I think that's probably the most exciting, especially with all the new potential acquisitions that we'll bring, but also with everything that we're going to do from a technology perspective, with everything that's coming out with Unify and Jonas Hospitality's unified platform that we're launching. That's going to create a lot of great opportunities for hotels, and the ceiling is very high, right? So who knows where we're going to be, right? We're all going to work hard. We're going to have a lot of fun. We'll make some mistakes along the way. We'll learn from them, and then we'll all be in a lot better place in 3 to 5 years.